Hi everyone and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope you're having a great week. I just want to say thank you, whenever possible, for all the support that I received and that I received so far. I'm also always open to video suggestions, so whenever you have a suggestion, the best way to make it is either in the comment section below, or you can contact me on Instagram and Twitter. I won't refuse talking to anyone. So you can do that. I have an endless list of topics that I all want to discuss here. It will probably take more than a year until I'm through it, but still I'm always open to suggestions. Thank you very much. On Friday I posted a video about how the hijab is compulsory. I didn't even go very much into how oppressive and stupid it is, but I received messages, comments, and even emails already of Muslims defending the hijab and making logical fallacies, which fairly the majority of Muslims do, instead of having actual factual discussions. The argument that I saw and focused on is one that claims that the hijab treats men and women completely equally, that men are required to do specific things too, and that's why the hijab is not oppressive. I also received messages like, what's your problem with the hijab? I mean, why does it bother you? It doesn't bother me, really. I have absolutely no problem with how people dress according to their religions or whatsoever. My problem starts where people lie about it, and where people start to almost force people into thinking that the hijab is a totally empowering and beautiful thing. And when they accuse people who criticize that system of being hate preachers and hateful and racist and xenophobic, whatever. My problem starts when people interfere in other people's rights and freedoms because of their own religions. I have no problem with people wearing the hijab at all, and I'm not saying this to be politically correct. If you saw my last video, you would know that I don't give a shit about political correctness. So back to the men and women are treated equally in the hijab point. I just want to focus on that, and I want to discuss that, as the title already says. The topic is really ridiculous because, really, to research all the Islamic resources at hand thoroughly, take every aspect of the hijab in consideration, all the rules for men and women, and then come to the conclusion that men and women are treated completely equally in terms of the hijab, one must be a complete moron. You will understand this very easily. In my last video I talked about the proper hijab. According to the fundamental sources of Islam, the Quran and the Hadith, this would be the proper hijab for women. The hands are still not so strict, and some hadiths suggest to cover the face completely as well, even though that's very often not enforced. In the Hanafi school of Sunni Islam, the feet can be excluded as well, even though it is highly recommended to cover them. The eyes are supposed to be open, but since the body of a woman needs to be covered completely, lots of Sharia courts and cultures find the solution in imposing ugly things like these on women. Men are completely equal in the hijab, right? This here is what a man is required to do, and some people honestly claim that a man and a woman are treated equally in terms of the hijab, because they have no other point to make when their religion is completely exposed for what it is. Here are the rules that a man has to abide by specifically, according to the fundamental sources of Islam. The first point, covered from navel to knees. A man has to cover the region from above his navel, his belly button, to below his kneecap. That region is seen as the intimate part of a man, and that part has to be covered at all times. Of course, with exceptions like taking a dump. Second, a man should normally cover his chest, his shoulders, and possibly his upper arm as well, even though the latter is not so important. This is not an absolute requirement. It is suggested that a man does this for better morality, and it is forbidden for a man to uncover his chest and his shoulders for no reason in public, or for reasons like provoking sexual thoughts and sexual glances. A man can, without expecting any further consequences, uncover his chest and shoulders for so many reasons, like when a man is swimming, for example, or when a work is being done and the clothing impairs the work, or if the clothing is dirty and can't stay on for what reason ever. During the Islamic pilgrimage, men also walk around like this, and there is no problem with them revealing their body parts that are not considered intimate. Third point, no thin or tight clothing that reveals their intimate parts. Pretty self-explanatory. No silk or gold. That rule made sense back then because silk and gold were seen much more as things of very high luxury. It doesn't make really very much sense right now. The clothes are not supposed to hang down below the ankle, so it shouldn't be too long and touch the floor. That's forbidden for a man. It makes no sense, but whatever. And the sixth one is lowering the gaze and refraining from looking sexually at women. Very simple and self-explanatory. Funny thing is that Muslims take this point, because it is mentioned in the Quran, and imply that women are not oppressed because men have rules as well. What a joke. 7. Oh, no, there is no 7. Yeah, that's all. This is it. I would love to prove with evidence that there are no other significant rules, but if something doesn't exist, I can't prove it, right? So this is about what it looks like, the comparison to a male hijab and a female hijab. And some people shamelessly come and really claim that it's totally equal and not oppressive to women at all. Let's all remember the fact that women have to cover up in an ugly way like this to protect them from being harassed by men, and in order to create an Islamic moral society. The way Islam treats this situation is a perfect, how can I get rid of this problem and make it even worse scenario. If people get uncontrollably aroused by the sight of women, even by the sight of hair, then they should probably just cover their eyes, right? With some concept like a reverse burqa. Wouldn't that be a great idea? If you don't want to see women the way they are, just close your eyes, better permanently. And stay home. Don't even leave your home. Don't walk among people. Get rid of media. Stop working if you can't work with women. Maybe you can apply for disability because you're a man. Whatever. The male hijab. This is the best solution. Or we can just accept society and human nature the way they are, work things out rationally, and stop imposing things that are in any way oppressive and harmful to men or women, right? Dealing with emotions and problems always helps. Restricting things in a way that Islam does never helps. It only causes problems that we have today in the Islamic world. I'm not saying that Muslims are naturally evil and all of them are evil in any way. I'm not implying that, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Islam does this to its own people. This is the least hateful thought that I could have about this. Islam is oppressive and hateful and very misogynistic, and I would still say the same thing if Islam had originated from Iceland, which is very hard for me. Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, and subscribe if you really like it. I love you all, and I'm very thankful, even if you are a Muslim. If you like my content so far, you can support me. You can do so on Patreon through the link in the description. My content is not monetized and probably never will be. And Israel doesn't pay me very much, obviously, so I appreciate every kind of support. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. We can talk and exchange ideas there. And I will start some activities very soon, like live chats and Q&As and hangouts. It will all come quite soon, so stay tuned. Thank you very much. We will talk again on Friday, and please stay away from Islam. I care about you.